Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Adam RPG with me, Bring It On. So off camera I was heading towards the Drunken Lair when I stumbled across this encounter. I believe this is a unique one. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but we'll go check it out. You see an overgrown road leading into a small forest. Do you want to check where it's leading? Yeah, check it out. Also, I didn't explain last episode. I think based off the decisions that you make at the abandoned factory, dictate which quest you get for Dan. So here we're doing the moonshiner quest to convince them to pay the abandoned factory protection money. If you make different choices in that quest, you get the other quest where you go and you investigate the 3 bandits. One of the NPCs at the factory had mentioned 3 bandits or 3 people they had hired that were savages, and that they never came back from their last mission. What you do is you go and you check out or find out what happened to them on their last mission. Okay, yeah, I remember this encounter. You see a tough-looking man wearing a camo jacket and a weird metal helmet. In his hands he holds an old AK-47, the barrel of which is pointing square at your chest. The first thing that comes to your attention is the crazed look of the man. His dull eyes are set widely apart. Their pupils are colorless and milky. The eyes themselves blink with no rhyme or reason, as if the man wants to look at all of his surroundings simultaneously. So you finally found me. Despite all the precautions, all the measures that I took. But how? The man grumbles to himself, while continuing to scan you with his senseless gaze. Suddenly, you realize that what you mistook for a helmet is in reality a tinfoil hat. Here we go. The man quickly lifts his head and focuses his crazed gaze upon you. You can't really tell what he's thinking right now, but seeing how he did not lower his weapon, it can't be anything too good. Aha! So you know our language, do you? That's bad. Real bad. Means that your kind once again tried to conquer man. I'm right, aren't I? Sure I am. I know it. Now, who are you even? Klinov. Gregory Petrovich Klinov. Although you must already know this, I'm included in all your most wanted lists. Surprised I know this? Don't be. I know everything about you, and about your plans. All it took was reading the right books. The truthful books. Like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, and the Book of Veles or Veles, and Mein Kampf, the new edition. What's that? You're scared. I can see that you are. A member of the National Front since 1981. I've been preparing for the end of the world since 1983. I saved grain in bottles, read survival manuals, and they all laughed at me for it. Gregory is out of his mind, they said. Got all messed up from drinking too much and believed some crazy stuff, they said. Ha! Who's laughing now? I was prepared, and all those unbelievers are now roasting in hell. And so they should. Wow, can you introduce yourself again? You actually lost me from the first thing you said. Oh, he's going to say the exact same thing. Okay. What are you, high or something? What do you mean? I'm sober. Well, I used to drink back in the day. Sometimes until I dropped. It happened. A vodka, beer, different cocktails like the Hanan Bomb, or the Tears of the She-Scout, Aunt Clava's Kiss, and all that. But it's all because you Zionists always try to get us hooked on alcohol. Made the whole population into drunks. Sometimes you're going home with your month's salary, and there's a beer stand in the way. Why not celebrate getting paid? Drink some alcohol. It's a culture thing to do, you know. A trait of a normal person. Yes. Darn it. Quit using your brain beams against me, demon. I have protection. Here. It's made out of tinfoil, you know. You can't hypnotize me with your thoughts about alcohol. Sweet alcohol. Now, who do you think I am? Not who do I think you are, who I know you are. I don't even know. Must be a degenerate of the 3rd type. With Jewish ancestry, no less. Probably a Freemason or a Templar, but still underdeveloped. They don't let you into the secret lounge, or... Oh, right. You also might be one of those lizard men. Your skull shape looks reptilian to me, and your customs are typical for those who live in the inner side of the hollow earth. You might also be an alien from Orion, one of those that chased our Hyperborean Aryan armies out of that constellation. Not just chased us out, but followed us back here. Why did you destroy Arcona, the ancient Aryan spaceport? Why did you build the so-called Jerusalem as your main colony? Huh? And 20 years ago, you finally decided to end us. Well, it's not happening, you hear me? Illuminati? It's not happening. Oh god, so who do you think I am really? Okay, I'm gonna leave. Man grabs his gun tighter and starts aiming at your head. His yellow tongue sticks out with concentration. Listen, I'm not who you think I am. Now ain't that interesting? So you're telling me I made a mistake? That you're no Mason, no Templar, no frightening mushroom person from the Amber Gigon. Sure you'd say something like that. Nobody likes to die, not even your kind. Well, go ahead and shoot me. Then I'm going to show you a world of pain no Freemason ever could. Oh my. I yield, I yield. You won. I mean, I have nothing against you, demon folk. It's all natural selection at the end. The weak shall fear the strong, and we, the humans, are obviously weak. The man slowly lowers his gun. He eyes you for a few more seconds, then finally comes to the conclusion that you're innocent. His gaze suddenly becomes unfocused again, and his weapon drops, just to hang from a makeshift belt. And that's that. See you later. Alright, I'm going to actually attack him, because we won't run across him again, and... Alright, I have to kill him this turn, otherwise I'm dead. Perfect. Because he has a rusty AK-47 that we can sell. And that's that. Oh. He has a lot of canned meat. And vodka. Oh, condensed milk is good. It gives you a stat bonus. If I can find it. Alright, maybe I'm losing my mind. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, +1 to endurance. I think the onion also gives you... Yeah, +1 to endurance. So those are pretty handy to have. Some vodka and some waste paper. Fantastic. Also, I do want to make a change real quick. I want to give this backpack to Fidel. Since he's going to be wearing it permanently, it gives him more carry weight permanently, whereas I'm only going to swap to the backpack when I need to carry more stuff. He gets more use out of it, the backpack that way. Yeah, that was a fun little Easter egg. I think last time I died to him the first time because he killed me with that AK-47 on burst fire. It's a nasty surprise. Alright, I'm going to rest for 6 hours. I didn't heal at all. I was hungry. Shoot. Well, alright. We're not hungry now, let's rest again. Okay. We healed up a little bit. We shouldn't need a lot of health in the, where we're headed. There's no combat at the Drunken Lair. Just more talking. Which is one of the reasons why I consider speechcraft so important in this game, because there's a ton of dialogue. There's also a location down here. It's actually the other location for the other potential quest at the abandoned factory. I think it's called Maiden Spring Farm? Some sort of farm. Okay, let's do it once around the town. I feel like I haven't been as thorough in my exploration of locations as I should be. So I'm going to try and take my time a little more. Let's go around. Try to avoid... Oh, no. I see a frowning, slouching man of pre-retirement age. He's wearing a stretched sweater with greasy sleeves and thermal ski pants. His disheveled dark hair have evidently known only one brush. his own fingers. Would you like to buy some moonshine? Come on in the house then. Petrovich is in charge of that here. The man sighs heavily and turns away from you. What's your beef, man? It's just my personal issues. Don't worry about it. Tell me, maybe I can help. The man sighs and begins talking slowly, as if the words suddenly became unbearably heavy. When the war was over, my daughter and I were survivors. My Dunya, we came across a village that was being rebuilt, called Pushkinsky, and we settled down there. I can work as a mechanic. I'd repair cars and farm machinery the best way I could. When my daughter grew up, she started doing housework and gardening. She was very good at it. We even had a surplus of food we grew, so she would take various cucumbers and tomatoes to the market and exchange them for other goods. Sounds like an idyllic family life. What happened next? The man licks his dry lips and sighs heavily. One day bandits came across our village. I'm not sure what happened, but I guess they started extorting money from our chairman. Where could our village get the money from? We'd either use it as a potluck or exchange it. Then the bandits found out there was a car mechanic there. They made me take a look at their car and mend it where necessary. While I was laboring under the hood, one of them saw my daughter and suddenly became so courteous. Well, I thought, my Dunya managed to melt even the heart of a bandit. The gang decided it was too late and dangerous to go back to the wasteland at night, so they stayed in the village. In the morning I couldn't find my daughter. That bandit took her away. He probably offered to give her a ride to the market. I ran to the market, but nobody there saw my Dunya. Continue listening in silence. The man sighs sadly and slicks his greasy hair with the outspread palm of his hand. So, I've been looking for them a long time. I found their camp. Well, what was left of it. But the bandits themselves weren't around anymore. I followed their trace. I saw so many horrible things in the wasteland. I went through a lot. I found a factory not far from here that the bandits had occupied, but I couldn't get inside, no matter how much I've tried. The guardsmen at the gates only told me they had no women there, but where else should I look for her? The gangs of the wasteland are uncountable. So the grief made me start drinking. I came across this hut. It sort of made myself useful here. So that's my story. That's my beef, as you put it. I see. The man becomes silent and lowers his eyes. Maybe he went deep in his thoughts, or maybe he just has nothing to say, or left to say. Well, I've got unexpected news for you. I met your daughter. Right. No sooner have I mentioned her than you met her. Cut the crap. I'm serious. She lives at the factory. Describe Dunya to him. At first, the man is listening to you with distrust, then with animated surprise, and finally, with feverish excitement. When you're done, he throws his hands in the air and almost screams. Exactly. You've just described You've just described Dunya to me. But how? Oh, I can't believe it. How is she? What happened to her? Well, she's safe and sound. She's missing you. As it turned out, she and that bandit really fell in love with each other, and now they live together. The man looks at you, bewildered. Fell in love? This can't be true. That's not how I raised her. You're making it up. Tell me now what really happened. Chill. The bandit turned out to be a decent fellow, and your Dunya eloped with him because you never approved of them being together. The man stomps his foot angrily, as if getting ready to start arguing, but instead he only waves his hand dismissively. Well, if she really fell in love with him, and if he's really not that bad, I wouldn't argue with it. I'd be all for it. Why run away like that? Without a proper goodbye or even leaving a note? Like disappearing off the face of the earth. He sadly purses his lips and starts rubbing his eyes that have gone red. In the tone of the man's voice, you begin to hear unusual notes of complaint. At least she could come see her old man. I'm not allowed to go visit them at the factory. Well, now that she knows where you are, she might come see you. By the way, what are you going to give me for this news? You're right, it gives me hope. Listen, I'm not a rich man, but this is all I have. One moment. The man takes a sack off his back, and after rummaging in it, he procures 30 rubles in crumpled, greasy notes, 2 tin cans, and a plastic bag with crumbly crackers, dry like the Karakum Desert. Here you are. All this will definitely come in handy to a traveler. Now I need some time to think. Maybe I'll try to find this place. Or maybe she'll come herself. Well, good luck. Well, I better go. I wanted to finish exploring. Just do it once around the outskirts of V. Moonshiner's hut. Then we'll swing back around and talk to that guy again. I thought this was the guy... I thought one of these guys had the gasoline drinking problem. I think last time he was standing out here. It might be at the Maiden Spring Farm instead. Hey mate, if you're here to see Petrovich, then he's inside the hut as usual. Come on in. Don't be shy. I can ask you a few questions. Well, go ahead. Ask if you want to. How's life in general? We just live our lives here day by day. It's a remote place with beautiful nature. We work because we need to survive. Before everything that happened, I used to be a gardener on a collective farm and taught chemistry to kids at school. Now my wealth of experience came in handy to brew moonshine. Well done for surviving. Have a sniff. And what's that stink you've got here? Have you been living under a rock? Or are you a foreign spy? How come you didn't recognize the moonshine still? One can't live without it. We're used to its smell here already. It doesn't bother us. We found this special place for ourselves, far from the nosy and evil people. Alright, I got your point. What do you do for a living? A bit of everything. Currently I'm guarding our trade dockyard. Otherwise I'm recalling formulas from my past life. I've recultivated wine fungi. The lovely things are now in a box in the cellar, doing their shady business in the dark. We've got to start over again and reinvent everything. For example, you can't do without sugar in our business. But where can we get it nowadays? Petrovich and I were lucky. We managed to get seeds of sugar beet, probably, from the old stocks. Prior to that, he had worked out a way of making moonshine from seeds without adding sugar. It's drinkable, but it's not the same thing. Curious. Now tell me some rumors. I've heard about these darn bandits from the factory. Apparently they started actively combing the area around their headquarters, laying wealthier villages under tribute. For protection. Who would have thought? Protection from who? Themselves? I fear they'll come across our hut one day too. What will we do then? We're barely making the ends meet. We're not living in poverty, of course, but we're not wallowing in money either. I got your point. The man shrugs and changes the way he holds his rifle to a more comfortable one. Alright, I'm gonna leave. Let's go talk to this guy. Alright, I think this might be the guy. A ginger-bearded man snivels and nods tentatively as you approach him. He smiles cautiously and waves his hand at you amicably. How are things going here? Well, there are always plenty of moonshine appreciators. We've nothing to complain about. Drinking is the main local pastime. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I like to have a few drinks myself occasionally. So there. You're way too cowardly for a guardsman, my friend. You need to be braver. The man shrugs tiredly, looks at you with deep sadness in his eyes. This is what I'm like. It can't be helped. That's what the times are like now. Scary times. One has to stay vigilant, always. Keep looking around. Otherwise you may be stabbed to death. There are all sorts of evil people walking about. Shrug. One could have got stabbed at all times in history. Now is no exception. It may be so. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Still, I think there was less danger before, to both soul and body. So there. Alright, well, what's the point in arguing? The man shrugs and sighs at his thoughts that are most probably pretty grim. Or maybe he sighs for no reason at all. It's hard to tell. Oh, hi. Can I ask you a couple of questions? You can feel that this shy man has taken a liking to you. They can tell you much more than to any other traveler. Ah, well, sure. Go ahead. Tell me about yourself, vagabond. Well, me, I guard stuff here. Petrovich, our boss, brews moonshine. The rest of us are working day and night. I mean, we all work. We don't sit on our hands. As for me, I'm a simple man. A farmer. That's it. Tell me more about Petrovich. Oh, Petrovich is a great man. He's a good guy. He's clever, and most importantly, kind. It was him who thought of assembling our team. He's built the brewing still with his own hands, too. I'm telling you, he's proper smart. Even before the war, he secretly sold counterfeit alcohol. He's a natural-born merchant, for real. I see. What are you doing? Sorry, the man sighs and rubs his wide, corny palms together as if he's suddenly feeling very cold. And what are you doing here? Usually I guard these gates, but sometimes I work in the garden. I chop wood, bring water, mend clothes, fish, set traps for the animals, repair furniture in the hut, mop the floors, clean the clothes from the lice with steam, cook porridge, massage the heels of the guys' feet before they go to sleep. I've got plenty of work. Well done. What can you tell me about this place? We set our camp here. It's as good as a real castle. Although should someone want to destroy our lair, they'll be able to do it in no time. Let's be honest with ourselves. The man sighs sadly and shakes his head. Don't be negative. Have you heard any rumors lately? I've heard about this disease. What's the name? Ah, a tricky word. Syndrome. The Krasnov syndrome. There. They say it's a horrid thing. One of our men seems to be suffering from it. I'm afraid to breathe when he's around. What if I get infected? And what are the symptoms of this Krasnov syndrome? How does it manifest itself? Well, I don't know really, because I don't approach my ill mate. But I have heard that this syndrome makes all intestines rot. The infected can't eat barley and have blood streaming from their eyes. It's a horrid thing. Alright, I'm on business here. I've got something very important to discuss with you. The man licks his dry lips and blinks several times. Discuss what? Hey man, you'd better talk to Petrovich. He's our boss. You should discuss all the issues with him. He's in the house right now, so there. Hey Friar, do I look like a peasant? Why the hell are you calling me man? The man crouches, sinks his head into his shoulders, and even squeezes his eyes, it seems, as if expecting you to hit him in the jaw. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know that one shouldn't talk like that. That it's wrong to talk like that. Calm down. I'm just teasing you. The man nods and shakes like a leaf, backs away from you. He's obviously scared, while you acquire valuable experience of intimidating villagers who are frightened as it is. And was it worth it? The question remains unanswered. Alright, leave. Well, cool. I got experience points for that. For intimidating this poor guy. Whoops. Petrovich and Company, everything for your drinking needs. Alright, we'll do it once around the hut. I believe there's only 3 more NPCs to talk to here. The guy peeling potatoes, Petrovich himself, and the Krasnov syndrome guy, I think, is the guy that's drinking gasoline. 1 whole ruble. I'll take that off your hands. A man around 35 years old is standing in front of you. He's quickly peeling potatoes. His moody face covered in stubble is frozen in a thoughtful expression. You can see sadness in his eyes. As you approach him, he disengages from his thoughts and notices you. Hi, can I ask you a few questions? The man eyes you indifferently and looks away. Well, hello. Go on then. Maybe you'll kill my boredom. How's life? I'm just living my life. I help men with everything. Right now I'm peeling potatoes for the moonshine. After that, Petrovich and I will start brewing. In general, it's not very interesting work. But it's easy and calm. Tell me about Petrovich, if you don't mind. The man shrugs and puts away another potato in the knife. Petrovich is sort of our boss here. He's a nice, kind man. Before the war, he was a ranger in the local forests. I couldn't say anything bad about him, even if I had a habit of badmouthing people. He's nearby, standing by the moonshine still. You can talk to him yourself if you want. I see. In this case, I've got another question. Well, go on then. It's better than peeling potatoes. Tell me about this place. There's nothing much to tell. We've renovated an abandoned hut, and now brew moonshine here with the men. The business is going quite well. We're getting more clients. There's nothing to complain about. Wow. How's that a proper response? What can you tell me about yourself? What's there to tell? My name is Yoga. I work with the men. We brew moonshine. Sometimes we taste test it too. After that, some develop a need to sing songs. Although in my mind the word how describes it better. And how did you end up here, Sir Yoga? Petrovich invited me here. Before that I swept streets, and this alternative promised much more advantages, so I didn't have to think twice about his offer. Alright, tell me about Petrovich. Okay, already done that. Tell me some rumors. You know, we, who don't work too close to civilization, have as much of it as a billy goat has milk. Okay. I've never heard that phrase before. Let's eat something. I prefer to eat beets, but I guess a cracker will do. Keep my hunger in check. Yawns. Brother, let's talk in the morning. I want to sleep. No, you need to get out of bed so I can talk to you, jerk. Oh well. Can I... Well, I don't seem to care if I take from them, so... So one of them mentioned a cellar. Alright, so this is the piece of the shield. Is there a cellar here? I don't think I ever found it. If there was one. Kind of peeking underneath the beds to see if there's one that I didn't see. Alright, well here's Petrovich. Do I have anything to trade him? He only has 55 rubles. I don't think... I mean, I can probably trade some of this vodka. I don't need that much, but... Here we go. I'll sell him the stuff that I just stole. Alright, an old man with a patch over his left eye is standing before you. He's wiping an empty glass bottle with an important look, turning it in his hands as if looking for stains. The bottle is sparkling clean. Seeing you, he puts down his bottle and nods in greeting. A spark of curiosity flashes in his eye, and just as swiftly disappears. His voice is scratchy and uneven with age, but still confident as he pronounces, "Ah, fresh face. Did you come to sample our wares? Get your loot out. We use a barter system here. We exchange moonshine for other goods. Although we'll sell it for money too, if you have any. Will you give me a discount? I greatly appreciate it. Sorry, but we don't do discounts as a favor here. If we did, we'd have gone out of business long ago. Well, it was worth a shot." The old man plays with his eye patch while staring at you intently with his only eye. Maybe you could give me a few of my questions. Or, sorry, maybe you could answer a few of my questions. Looks like in spite of everything, your natural charm has impressed this uncompromising old man. Ask away. How did you lose your eye, if you don't mind me asking? What, are you expecting a story about a rogue bullet, or losing the eye to some monster? It was much less romantic than that. I poked it out myself, shortly before the war broke out. I was chopping logs and not paying much attention, ended up with a big splinter in my eye. It drained out almost immediately. The humdrum of life. Let's see, what are you busy with? I've been brewing moonshine since before the war. I was a ranger here when it was trendy to go camping in these parts. Plus people kept summer homes in the area. They sent messengers to me saying, "Petrovich, be a good sport, help us spice up our holiday." So I'd help them out. Why not? It was illegal, of course. Who's going to travel all the way out here to investigate? If you're a ranger, that means you're one of the old residents, right? The man smiles contentedly. It would seem I am an old resident. Ah, I have so many stories about my time in the service. I remember there were these two poachers I would chase away all the time. Semyon and Valerie. Serial offenders. And now, after the war, who would have thought? Me and Semyon have become friends. Everything changes. The chief moonshiner smirks as he carefully adjusts the patch on his left eye. He lives in Ochernoye, a village to the north of here. He's an old man now, even older than me. My health allows, and if I have time, I visit him occasionally for a shot of chifir. I wish I could find Valerie too. I've heard he lives around here as well, but he's hiding away from people. It's a pity. Maybe if I meet him, I could tell him hi for you. Oh, yes, if you do meet him, say hi. Tell him that Ranger Petrovich invites him for a visit. Except, where do you think you'll find him? Semyon hasn't heard anything in ages. It was a traveler who told me about Valerie. Supposedly he spotted the old poacher in some woods not far from here. Maybe if you have a stroll around the area. I have a feeling I'm going to run into him. Can I ask you something else? What can you tell me about this place? Yeah, it's a lovely place. It was even nicer before the war. I wish you'd seen it then. The Western foothills were considered a nature reserve back then. Or part of them anyway. The other part was the hunting grounds, reserved for party officials. In the east and along the coast the climate is subtropical, while here it's nice and moderate. Plenty of animals too, and pine trees so thick you need at least 2 people to get their arms around the trunk. Saddened by his memories, the old man sighs bitterly. But now the climate's changed because of the bombs. This exact region wasn't bombed, but still. The forests are dying, the hills are turning into dunes, and each day there are fewer natural animals left. Even the number of those mutated freaks seems to be on the decline. Life is leaving this place. We have no one to blame but ourselves. Weak-willed, short-sighted humans. Yeah, let's blame the politicians. Humankind had nothing to do with it. The politicians are the ones who waged war. The old man smirked sadly. Too right. But to be honest, the politicians couldn't even tie their own shoelaces without popular support. Even if it was the silent kind. No, we shouldn't avoid responsibility. We're all to blame for what happened, and there's nothing to be done about it now. Can I ask a question? Do you know any interesting rumors? Rumors? These are no rumors. Nothing but sad things keep happening here. Recently, a local farmer's daughter went missing. She was such a lovely girl. I'm afraid nothing good can have happened to her. So that's actually related to the other quest you could have got from the abandoned factory, where you investigate what happened to the 3 bandits. The 3 brothers, actually. I have an important topic to discuss with you. Without putting his bottle down, he folds his arms and looks at you expectantly with his only eye. What topic is that? I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. The man tilts his head a bit and impatiently scuffs his shoe on the wooden floor. Is that so? I've lived long enough to know where such claims lead. Tell me straight up, what are you getting at? Strength. Project dominance. You flex your muscles in your neck and straighten up to make your shoulders as broad as possible. You start to spit short phrases through your teeth like, what? What was that? What did you say? Are you talking to me? As you move closer and closer to the skinny old man. It seems to be working, even against this strong-willed fellow. As you advance, he cautiously retreats. Calm down. There's no need to get tough. It was Dan who sent you, right? About the protection, as he calls it? Well, we're doing fine on our own. We fought off burglars ourselves a couple of times. And on one occasion, mutants. We've got it under control. Yeah, right. I've seen your fighters. They're terrified of their own shadows. They barely know the butt end of a rifle from the bore. It's true the men are slightly out of shape, but if it comes to a fight, they won't back down. That I can guarantee to you and your boss. So let me repeat this for you. We don't need your protection. Are you trying to get tough with me? I don't recommend it. Evidently, your aggressive posturing has the desired effect. Avoiding your cold and steely eye, the old man gives you a short nod. I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to say that we don't need any protection. You understand? Let's just agree to part ways. Most everyone around here goes hand in hand to the factory guys. Why must our little crew do so too? I can do streetwise. Oi, you bloody geezer! What are you, high? Cut the crap. Give me the dough for the guard and shut your gob. Irritated, the old man enters, mimics your tough talk. Listen here, sweetheart. Quit showing off. I've been talking nicely and you're treating me like a dog. It won't do. Alright, instead of wasting your time on talk, just hit the old man in the face. Oh man, I feel so bad. He's a good guy. But the strength, I mean, this is free experience. Your blow forces the old man back. He covers his wounded face. You take another step towards him and raise your fist once again. His single eye is watering from pain and frustration, and the desperate wish to protect himself and his friends is written across his face. He had seemed ready to attack, but evidently fear for his friends stops this proud old fellow cold. I feel so bad. Oh, I hate being the bad guy. I wish I had the other quest instead of this one. Because he's not a bad guy. Okay, I get it. Your gang wins. You win. We will pay the tribute. Nod silently. The chief moonshiner is looking gloomily down at his feet, his gray head hanging low. The humiliation you inflicted will be incised on his memory forever. He says dully, "Why so quiet? You got what you wanted. Go tell Dan." "I sure will. Bye." Gosh darn it. I don't feel good about that. Alright, so I'm actually just gonna chill here for a second. Alright, so these guys should be awake now. I hope. Actually, you know what? We're going to talk to these guys in the next episode. I'm going to call it here, so I don't risk going too far over. And we'll talk to these two NPCs, and we'll go back to Dan. We also have to go and talk about the guy that we sent Dr. McCullion to go check on. So we have 2 quests to turn in. And we actually have a quest here to take care of as well. With this guy here. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.